Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of my new gameplay series for Moonstone Island. A game that lives somewhere between Stardew Valley, Pokemon, and Slay the Spire. There's monster catching, card-based battles, and crafting, farm building, sandbox playstyle stuff, and that's all pretty interesting to me, and this series will introduce to you what the game has in store for you. So our story is that we're setting off to be an alchemist somewhere in a world full of skyborn islands. We have one monster we got from mom and dad, and the rest is up to us to explore. We crash land with our flying broom, and then you see what's happening. So, before we get started for real, I want to point real quick towards PayPal, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee. I am a free content creator. I have no big sponsors and nothing behind me except for you fine people, so I'd be very, very delighted if you'd give those links a look. Either way, I just want to say thanks for watching this series because that is really the most important thing. And enough of that, let's collect our gear that we've lost while we crash landed here. The first island, the Moonstone Island, which is giving this game its entire name, is a island that is, as far as I know, not procedurally generated. I'm not sure in how far the world itself is pre-generated or procedurally generated. I did play the game a bit on my own, off camera, to get used to everything so I can talk proficiently about things. And after that, well, I just went for the series, so I don't know how the world generation actually works. So it's 1:30 in the night. We're going to fall asleep very soon. I'm just trying to pick up whatever I can here in terms of forage. All these plants have a lot of different uses. Oh, look, treasure map. Ha. And now we fall asleep. So we are now going to meet the rest of the people here in the village, which are living all on the island. And every day we get a bit of a summary. As you see, there's 30 dungeons, 66 creatures to collect, and a lot of other good things that we can do. So now we wake up in the tavern. Osono says hi and greets us as the new member in the village and gives us back the items that we've lost while we crash landed. If you want to experience this story by yourself, I'm afraid you need to either pause the video or buy the game yourself. I also put the link down there in the description box if you want to see it for yourself in the Steam Workshop. Pressing J opens up our menu for quests. So our first quest is to place our tent. These people here in the city, we will say hi to these over the course of the time, but not for now. We're now most interested in setting up shop. So we're receiving a letter from parents and a little tip of how to travel between islands. So Moonstone Mail Corporation is sending us their best regards. And now let's move on over to the place where I want to set up my tent. The island, like I said, is procedurally generated. I love this spot personally because we have a lot of room to expand towards to, and there is not too much neighborhood here. So come on, I thought I had turned off the tutorial. So the gear wheel here, if you hold down Q on the keyboard, you can now select whatever tool you want. I think this is a really, really cool upgrade towards the usual systems I have in games like these, where your tools are blocking part of your inventory. Gotta say, this is a pretty nice little thing that I personally enjoyed a lot. We're gonna chop down some trees and bust down some stones just to get some room for our tent. As usual with these games, we're going to be crafting and building a lot, but we're also hunting monsters, and the combat is very Slay the Spire-like, or it's inspired by that quite heavily. So we have decks, we have cards, and the combat is entirely turn-based. This is something that really caught my interest quite quickly, because in all honesty, as much as I like games like Stardew Valley and the like, I really never liked the combat system of any of these, so it's a really welcome breath of fresh air. So we're going to pick up our Alchemist tent. Yeah, I know what that I want to live here. And that's our home. We can also build in here. So out of the inventory menu, we can go for crafting. So let's see. We want to build a balloon. And I think we're also supposed to, let's see, settling in, find a moonstone. Right. So let's see. If I remember correctly, I need to go once to the inn, and we need those starting quests. We lack a lot of different blueprints to get started with. And as far as I remember, this lady here, Osono, is, like many people, offering us a quest when we meet her for the first time. She wants me to build a cell crate, and we're gonna get some rewards there. There we go. She also wants me to sell her some stones. Oh, wait a sec. I didn't mean to gift you something. And the social menu here, we gain favorability by talking with them. We can obviously do that 3 times per day. There's a shop where we can buy different things, and we can date and gift these people. So pretty typical interactions for a game like that. The sales crate is, like the name implies, exactly doing what you would be expecting from it. It allows you to sell things, and therefore it is a very important first craft in my humble opinion. So let's move back to our starting place and harvest some fiber for the balloon, because that's going to be our first ways and means to travel between islands. There we go. So for this game, we have to decide most of the time whether we want to be in the farming gameplay or the monster hunting gameplay. But the real cool part is we have a stamina system here, but the combat is not linked to that stamina system. So basically, this allows us to go for fighting after we're done with our farming business. By the way, the stamina is this little bar here, the blue one. You start with 300 stamina each day. You can't recharge that with food. I think if you've played any of these games, there should be no big surprise behind these. It's more about the genre mix that I really enjoy in this game, because I didn't expect these genres to play so well together before I actually started out trying. But I am also not overly surprised, because the developer of this game has a track record of really, really well-made titles that were all quite fun to play. The latest big hit was Cassette Beasts. So, anywho, we're gonna craft ourselves some of that cloth and that balloon. So we have now a new tool at our disposal that allows us to fly over the areas. But I'm gonna be, for starters, a little bit conservative with that. I think we're going to fly tomorrow somewhere else. For today, I want to build that sales crate, so we need a little bit more wood. And this game is centered around exploration a lot. So once we've set up shop here locally, we're going to wheeze around and say hi to all the islands around us, and I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so we can craft ourselves now our sales crate. There we go. So, and Osono wants us to sell 20 stones to her, so let's get ourselves... Oops. Some of those. This wheel is configurable. You can put in whatever tools you want there. Well, we've found the entrance to our first mine. Yeah, so sometimes you find mines. It's a good source of metals, but it's also a good source for monsters, so probably don't want to go here at my very, very first day. That's my second day, but you get what I mean. Alright, so I'm almost out of stamina, so I cannot do much anymore. We can eat things to recover that. So for example, stone fruit is recovering our stamina. But for starters, I want to set up the sales crate. Let's put it up here, why not? And we're going to sell 20 stones. There we go. That's going to be for Osono. Since we don't have anything else to do, I want to check out if the other people here in the city are willing to give us already their quests. The island is not too overly huge, but it ain't small either. So you can actually discover quite a lot here. So shopkeepers, yeah, well, it's a little bit late in the day, huh? Well, so we're not going to go for the shopkeepers now. There's the carpenter's workshop. Here we have the warp whistle. If I remember correctly, the warp whistle teleports us back to Moonstone Island. So the idea of that thing is quite clear. If you ever are out in the open on a different island, it's a quick way home. Which is pretty cool, because at 2 a.m. we fall down flat on our face and, well, if that happens, you oversleep for that day, and that's not really good. Alright, there's a first portal, or whatever these are. When we open up one of these, we can select a new talisman, which allows us to upgrade cards, add cards, or remove cards out of the decks of our Monster Z's. So I'm gonna pick up one for upgrades for starters, and, well, monster development, I'd say one thing at a time, eh? So it's already late in the day, let's go to bed. I mean, technically I could do way more than that, but we aren't in a hurry, aren't we? So this thing here looks really very, very barren. So let's go to bed and end our first day. So we earned 100 pieces of coins for the stone we sold. And now, let's see. Receiving a new letter. So, yeah, get to know your new neighbors. So we have now a quest to meet everybody once. It pays off to say everybody hi once, because, like I mentioned, they all like to dump quests on you when you say hi for them to them for the first time, and therefore we're going to take a quick stroll through the village. So it's a thing. Opens at 7 today. Dang, I'm too early. Okay, well, might as well gather me some fiber here while I'm waiting, you know. There we go. The world is wildly interactive. You can build wherever you want, and there's really good things going on. So this is the science dude. He wants us to gather more monsters and have one at level 5. So this is one of our first bigger quests, because when we do that, as a reward, we will receive the Spirit Bond, which allows me to store more than 3 monsters. That's very, very cool. Or, sorry, I shouldn't be calling them monsters, right? A little spirit. Anywho. So, don't know. Feels only natural to me to say monsters to them. So, hi, Quill. So there's the smith. Alright. If I remember correctly, Pharaoh wants us to sell a couple of copper ore pieces. We're going to receive the furnace recipe for that, so I'm very, very down. Let's see, there's the regular shop. Opens at 7 tomorrow. That is not open at all today. Okay. So, there's nobody to talk to here. There's not too many searchable things in the homes or anything like that. Ah, Osono. Giving us some money. And she wants us to go into the dungeon, right. So, there's a lot of things we can discover here on the island. Hi there, Rowan. So, how many of the locals have we met already? So, well, a couple of them. So, the carpenter. This is probably one of the more important people, because he's going to be expanding our home. So, hi there, Paolo. He doesn't have a quest for us, but in all honesty, we're going to have enough quests in no time. And let's move on over to this place. This is the coasty place of this island. The flax flowers and all these things that we're collecting here, by the way, will be Very, very useful. But we're going to use our scythe here for the first time. If you scythe something, you yield seeds out of it instead of the complete fruit. And you always yield 2 seeds out of it. So, Tobin, that's our local fisher boy. And he wants us to fish some fishes for him. Sure, sure, sure. We're gonna buy the fishing rod from him while we're at it, because, you know, no fishing without a fishing rod. Okay, so Cleo and Ophelia. Alright. Almost did it. I do like to finish my quests, you know. There we go. All these things here. Probably should start scything some of them, so we can plant some on our own farm later. Because I don't want to walk every single time all the way up there. So whoever's living here is not currently at home. Too bad. So this wood looks different. But that's the trick, it's just a smaller tree. Oh, hello there. Why is there a gem lying around? Okay. A random gemstone has appeared. Not that I would mind at all. So here's the hot spring. Here you can recharge your stamina, chill out a little bit. And here's the dungeon. I'm not willing to go deeper into that as of yet. I'm a little bit afraid about that. Just wanted to show you. And yeah, well, the first thing that I actually want to do is I want to get underground and harvest that copper that the smith wanted from me. So here's another little cave. I got no clue what this vantage point will be good for ultimately. And over here's another one of these portals. Here I want to show you something fun. Not that. So we're going to craft ourselves, some bridges I meant to say, but turned out I need to beat up some stone first. So to get over this little gap, well, we're going to do it in 2 different ways, I'd say. There's different ways to cross gaps in this game. So, we cannot fly here, alright. Man, I thought we can fly over this little thing, but no. We actually have to build a bridge here. Anywho, let's do this. This is something I really, really like. This feels like something illegal in games like these. There we go. Let's pick up a study talisman. Since I'm not sure how rare or unique these are, I'm currently holding on to these. Alright. So, picking up a couple of these extra fruits, because they're just that good. Alright. So, all this room back here we can later use to our own liking. Okay, so let's go downstairs and beat up some stones. Here we go. I didn't mean to go upstairs. That's something I really wish it would be different. Like, I'd be much preferring staircases that need my interaction to be interacted with. If that makes any sense. Like, you need to click it before you go upstairs. Find that much more appealing. Anywho. So, as you see here, the ones with the yellow speckles are the ones with the copper, and these with the gray speckles are iron. These are the most attractive ones currently. Of course, our tools are bad right now. They're working very, very slowly. The usual things apply. Okay. So we found a chest and a torch crafting recipe now. That's gonna be useful. So I require one more rock of copper ore. So seems as if we need to go up to the first monsters. Spirits, I'm sorry. Probably we can tame something here. Quite eager to pick up all the ores here, leaving behind the other stones because they're not worth my stamina that much. So... there we go. Let's eat a stone fruit, or two. And there we go. So our first combat will ensue. Alright, so this little guy here, it's pretty simple. He has 2 shield, which reduces the enemy's the incoming damage. That's his HP. We have 3 energy. Every card is costing energy. And if we manage to reduce the enemy's armor to 0, he's going to be stunned for 1 turn and will receive extra damage. But, as a matter of fact, we want to tame this little guy, so we're feeding him flax flowers now. I'm sorry, he's already going for me after 1 flower. Alright, so we have our second creature here, which is pretty important because, you know, we need more monstersies to defend ourselves. It's basically like that. My deck is consisting out of the skills of all 3 of my creatures. But the big advantage to have more creatures is you have more HP to tank and combat with. That's why it's pretty important. Also, you get more options, obviously. The creature system is actually quite complex. We're going to explore that deeper, of course, during the series. But, you know, just getting started here. Okay, I'm gonna clobber down these last pieces of iron ore and copper ore, and then we go upstairs. I hope it ain't too late for the smithy, because I want to build my furnaces actually quite soon. It's pretty good to get yourself ingots going. It's one of the basic materials to work with. So, no use in delaying that. Alright. Sadly Farah is already somewhere else, so we're going to look for her tomorrow. No biggie. So, there's still a bit of day left, but not that much stamina. So, we're going to do something else here. How about that? Let's pick up our hole. And dig a few holes. So, stone fruit seeds. There we go. Stone fruit is pretty useful, and I feel like planting some of these. And, of course, don't forget to water your crops. Okay, so let's see. Can we sell something here today? Oh yeah, we have a couple of gemstones. These are, like the text implies, are really only there to be sold. There's no other usage for them. And we're going to do another fun thing. So, lillipad seeds and these. So, you can't plant these simply into the water. They don't require any whole business or whatever. So, I also have 6 seeds for flax. Let's get our small-scale farming business going. Yeah, I know, I'm getting pretty exhausted, but since watering takes 2 energy, we should have just about enough energy and then go to bed. And tomorrow we're going to build ourselves a furnace. And then it's about time to go exploring, I'd say. I mean, there are a couple of objectives that we can go for. Either exploring other islands or exploring the dungeon. There's more than enough stuff to do here. That's one thing I really appreciate. The only thing that I had a little bit of a problem at first was to to vibe with all that cozy wholesomeness graphics there. Not exactly my favorite, my most preferred style, but you know, for one, it doesn't matter, it doesn't hurt the game flow at all, and for another thing, it's actually quite nice to play something that my 5-year-old kid can watch while I'm playing and enjoying myself. So, anywho, we watered the crops. It's very important unwatered crops die, as far as I've learned. And let's see if Farah's at home, because I want Dad furnace. I currently have no clue what all the things that we can buy and build in this game are good for. There's way more stuff than I could possibly keep an eye on. Alright. Alright, we should talk to Cleo more. So the quest stated specifically that I am supposed to sell them here at the blacksmith, so... Alright, she wants to teach me something once we have made 3 iron ingots, so we should probably go deeper into that. I'm well aware of the fact that I'm not grinding any standing with those people, so tell me if that's bothering you. I just can't be bothered currently. So, let's see. We need for the furnace 10 wood, 10 stone. So I'm going to chop some more trees, but while we're at it, we're going to set up the first furnace here already. There we go. So, let's see. The Moonstone Enchanter for magical items requires a Moonstone Ingot, like the name would suggest. And I want to build a couple of torches here as well. Okay, first furnace. Well, probably we're not going to build the furnace in the tent, though. It sounds somehow neither safe nor sane. Let's put up the furnace out here. So here we will require to put in coal. Let's put in our entirety of the coal. And there we go. Bulk production isn't a thing yet. I don't know. I would assume that we're getting later some places where we can bulk produce things. I would be a little bit sad if that wouldn't be an option, but who knows. So my next goal is to set up, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 smelters. So we're going to grab ourselves some wood here. Since you can always only craft 1 item per smelter, I feel like it is really, really good to have at least 2 of these guys. I personally will build 3, because I don't want to be short on smelters. Especially in a Let's Play series where I don't want to spend unnecessarily much time on things. I think that's a pretty smart thing to go for. And sadly, I don't have any coal for more torches, but yeah, one thing at a time. So, there we go. So, it turns out I cannot move the coal anymore when it is already in the furnace. I had no clue. Yeah, well, the more you know. We're going to clobber away some rocks here on our farm. I like some free space anyways. With some luck, there's gonna be some coal popping out of one of these, but... yeah, well, let's go underground. So, I remember that 10:15 was the time we're supposed to be able to get our next ingot going. Or was it? So, I don't want to be clobbering these weak stones. Just realized. Why take these when we can take these? Where we not only have a chance of finding coal, but also definitely some ore. Okay, my good friends, so I'm gonna be ending today's episode about here, and in the next one we are going to explore the dungeons, we are going to go a little bit deeper into the combat system. I mean, we didn't do any combat so far, but you get what I mean, I guess. So, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you were enjoying yourself as much as I do. Leave me your comments down below. Consider to leave a thumbs up or even a subscription. I would be delighted about both of these. And of course, there is also a link in the, not in the description, a little bit lower than the description. The topmost comment will lead you to my new Let's Play gaming channel, where I will post way more Let's Plays than ever once this thing hits 1,000 subscribers. So, if you are interested in that, just subscribe there, and the rest will be up to me. That being said, I hope you had a good time. Thanks for watching yet again. I especially appreciate people watching through the final minutes of this video. That's really awesome of you. Have a nice day, and see you next time on the Moonstone Island.